All right. Welcome to episode 98 of the Balance Period podcast. Today, we have a very special guest, Joe Laconi. I'm going to start by just sharing how I came across Joe and his product that we will be diving deeper into today. So, if you all remember, as we were entering this new year, one of the things that I wanted to do more of was contribute to what I wanted to see more of. And I wanted to take better accountability for the food that I ate. And I stumbled across Joe's page, Coni Super Foods on Instagram, and just saw the simplicity to the ingredients that they had in their product. And I was like, well, this is local and it looks awesome, so I'm going to try it. So I remember it was like instantaneous. I saw it and then I went and purchased a couple of their products, and the rest is history. We're grateful to have him here. The product is absolutely amazing, and we're excited for him to be on our platform to share his story with you all and offer you up an opportunity to try out the product for yourself. So, Joe, welcome to the show. How are you doing today, man?
Thank you. Thank you both. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Of of course, of course. So let's go ahead. I'm going to give you an opportunity to share more about who you are and what you do.
Sure. Joe Laconi started Coni Super Foods, the company that you're talking about. The mantra behind the company is everything you need, nothing you don't. The four key food groups in every bite. So what the product is, it's a superfood spread coming in apple, cinnamon, and chocolate cocoa that fulfills the four food groups, the four necessary food groups, being protein, fruits, veggies, and fats, with all natural ingredients, low carb, low net carb, low sugar count, keto friendly as well. Coming in apple, cinnamon, and chocolate cocoa that you can just, as you know, a typical spread would be, take it out of the jar and throw it onto like a toast, pancake, apple, banana. Or what I like to do is just take a spoon and eat it directly out of the jar, like it's ice cream at 9 o'clock, instead of going to ice cream or eating pretzels or something else that I'm craving that is not good for you at all. So that's the company, and on my side, I'm from Indianapolis, just moved back here back in late September, early October. Relaunched the business here in Indy and are using Indy as our home base.
Awesome. So yeah, so when did you all get started? How long ago has Coney Foods been a thing?
Yeah, I've been working on the recipe for about, I think it's been like 3 years now. So I launched back in April of 2020, right when everything went, basically like 2 weeks after everything shut down. I launched on April 1st, actually. And then sold the product for a little bit, but at that time it needed to be refrigerated. And then back in like June, I decided to actually take it off the market and do more recipe reformulations to try to get the product where it could actually sit on a shelf, and we wouldn't have to go through like all the stress and worry and logistics around shipping a refrigerated product safely, because it wasn't as hard in April because it wasn't quite as hot yet. I was still up in Chicago then, but once you got into August, June, July, August, when it gets hot, it's tough. It's tough to ship a product and keep it at the same temperature that you want. And then I also just thought it would be a better place, thinking long term, for the company and for the product. Um, a better place in a store would be on that same aisle as like a nut butter or another spread. So I reformulated the recipe, got it to be shelf stable, using all natural ingredients, no artificial preservatives or anything like that, and relaunched in the middle of December, just now.
Awesome. Well, yeah, congratulations on that relaunch. I
Thank
figured
you.
that's the batch that I got. So here's a
Yeah,
packaging of what it looks like. So that's what I got. And yeah, I remember reaching out to him like, Joe, how should I store this? Should I put it in the fridge? He's like, actually, no, you shouldn't do that. So I didn't realize that you went through the whole process of at first having it refrigerated and now completely, changing over the formulas to where it can be shelf friendly. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it took a lot of work. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not like I didn't have when I started this, and I had no experience in food or like food science specifically. I have a lot more respect for bakers and the whole food science world now. Because when I started this, I had no idea what I was doing. And the recipe was terrible to start. And so it was really difficult to figure out how to take something from needing to be refrigerated to going shelf stable when you're a guy like me who I don't even I got a C in like basic chemistry, you know. So I don't know. But I was happy that I was able to. What was really important to me is that everything I put in it was I felt good about and was healthy and all natural and coming from a good source. I could have thrown a artificial preservative in it from day one, and it would have taken 2 seconds, you know. But I didn't want to go that route.
Right. So taking it back to day one, what sparked your desire to even create this product in the first place?
Yeah, great question. I grew up I grew up in Zionsville, Indiana. It's a suburb of Indianapolis, northwest suburb. Grew up in a really health and fitness focused family. Both my mom and my dad are way into health and fitness. My mom is. I grew up looking at my parents, like my mom getting up at like 5 in the morning and getting a workout in every day and hasn't missed my whole life. And same with my dad. My dad's probably even more of a freak about it, but he's this, I'm 27, so he's not the youngest guy in the world, but he looks like he could be playing for the Colts kind of dude. Like he's just like jacked up, ripped, throwing up serious weight, that kind of guy. So I just grew up in a really health and fitness focused family, and I grew up looking at my parents, and that's what they did and cared about was how they work out, what they eat. Kind of going back to or tying it into to more of the topics that you guys talk about. A lot of like mindset and psychology and all of those kinds of like. I used to get annoyed at my parents. They'd always be like feeding me little quotes or like little things to say, that now I appreciate, but back then it was like, God, shut up, you know. So, just I guess this is a long way to answer the question, but grew up in that kind of family. I didn't really care that much about health and fitness in high school. A little bit, like I worked out and stuff, but ate whatever I wanted. But then once I got into college, I started working out religiously, got more into what I was eating, and all that. And then, especially graduating college in the last like 5 or so years, have gotten way into it. Really focused on my what I eat, my what I take in, both from like a nutritional perspective, but also like what are the things that I'm listening to, what types of music, movies, TV do I watch, who do I hang around, things like that. But I always wish there was a product that made things easier in terms of just had the things that I wanted in it. Me and my mom used to joke, if we could just throw back a pill. I love food, but if we could just throw back a pill and have everything I need and we'd be done, we would love that. For me, it's like health is a 99, but convenience is a 100, in my opinion. So I always wish that there would be a product that would have everything I needed in one. So I went out to build that. I looked at what are the things that I eat, what are the things that I want, protein, fruits, veggies, fats, all coming from good quality sources, and then thought about how do I build a product around that. So that's really the inspiration behind it. I started little businesses in high school and college, and grew up in a health and fitness focused family. It's been a big interest of mine. I realized I had to do something around my interests. and that concept of 4 food groups in every bite, everything you need, nothing you don't, I love.
Yeah, man. You know, that's amazing. The fact that you created this from the perspective of being mindful of the quality of what you consume. Because we are what we eat. I know it's a simple, generic saying, but we
Yeah,
really are. So if the quality of what we're consuming is high, then we're going to turn into high quality individuals from the inside out. So thank you for creating a product that speaks volumes to that.
yeah. No, I appreciate it. I think it's some people maybe think of this as a little bit of a stretch. Sorry, I'm just jotting one thing down.
No, you're good.
But I do believe in the sentiment of we are what we eat, like literally. I mean, the food you eat is what makes up yourself. So it's a little bit of a stretch to say like if you eat McDonald's all day, you are McDonald's, but kind of not. You know,
Right, right.
it's kind of the truth. But um, but yeah, I agree. I mean, I really care about what I eat. It really adjusts how I feel and how I think and my honestly my happiness level, which people are gonna maybe say it's an exaggeration, but I don't think it is. And I'm also like I can't put anything out or sell anything that I don't love. So
For sure.
I'm I'm right there with you guys on that.
Yeah. So in talking about your background and being an entrepreneur, right? Starting businesses, probably going through a lot of failures, and even in your formulation of this product itself, right? You
Yeah,
went from having one thing to then transforming it to something different. So there's bound to be failures along that journey. So in talking about mindset being huge in your household, how do you approach failure as you are progressing towards accomplishing a
yep.
goal that you set for yourself?
That's a great question. I don't know if it's something that I really think about so much. How do I approach failure? I think that what I think is that if you're I think it's really important to do things that you like and to do things that you're interested. At least for me. I mean, I can't give anybody advice. Whatever. Everybody should figure out what makes sense to themselves, right? But for me, I really have to do what I'm interested in, um, or I just don't want to put in any effort, or I won't put any energy towards it. So, um, so when I think about, and the reason that I'm saying that is because I really wanted I thought about like what's the world that I could dedicate 10, 20, 30 years to, and it's health and fitness, natural foods, whole foods, anything in a whole food store. I think being in one is fun. I think it's really cool. So I thought more about like what's something that I want, what's something that'd be really cool to have, and that's a food business around a product that I love that people love, and then so I guess how do I approach failure? It's I think I wanted the end result. So I just kept going, I guess. So there's that. And then um, I also feel like you're going to figure something out if you just keep doing things. So like it probably took me 3 times, 4 times, 10 times as long to formulate a product as somebody else. But if you just keep doing it every day, eventually you'll figure it out. You know, so that's that's my thought process. And then on top of it, it's like my life isn't really that bad. So even though, I was spending my time as a 25-year-old on the weekends and nights with an apron on in the kitchen, which sounds super dumb. Like a 25-year-old single dude is like baking basically, which is totally not me. But it's not that bad of a life, Like you have a recipe that messes up, I throw on a podcast or music, and I'm just mixing up. It's mixing up some stuff. It's not like I'm like going through hell. Like it's not that bad, So I just kind of look at it as like, um, you're gonna figure it out eventually. Fall in love with the end result, and or focusing the end result on something you love. And I've learned too to try to not like put too much of a timeline, or don't like stress too much about my timeline, because I think I used to do that to myself and still do. But like I'll be like today, we have something messed up with our Facebook ads manager, and I wanted it to be done on Saturday, and I'm still working on it. And it's just like, stop irritating myself based on some arbitrary timeline that I put on myself. You know?
Yeah, I've definitely experienced that too. I'm like, I got to a point to where I just laughed at myself when I was frustrated at
Yeah.
expectations that I created in the first place. And I'm like, wait a minute, I made this up, so I'm literally frustrating myself right now. This is ridiculous.
Right. It's your own trap that you like. It's your own. It's not like it's a law that it has to be done today. Like
Right.
you created that stress for yourself. That's just not really necessary.
I want to bring it back to what he said a little bit earlier. It's making the journey for yourself, figuring out what works best for you. Like I really liked when he said, "I really can't give anybody advice because it's their own journey." And I respect that because it is. Like people have to understand, as long as we're trying to follow in somebody's footsteps, if we're not seeing what they're seeing, we're less likely to complete whatever it is we're trying to do. So, I respect that a whole lot.
Totally. I used to look. I think we're all like kind of trained to look for advice or like look for people that are the teachers or like look for people that are older than us or our parents. And I used to try to do that all the time, or like find guys that I look up to in business, and then what do they say, you know? And I think for like strategic or like more tactical decisions, that makes sense. Like how to get a product from refrigerated to shelf stable, probably take advice on that. But
Hmm.
like you can't take advice on what you want to do with your life, you know? That's not possible.
Right. Awesome. Well, yeah, man. Is there anything else that you want to share with us about your product? Anything else that you want to add?
Um, I don't know if there's anything specific to the product. If it's something that's interesting to anybody listening, check out Coni Super Foods on Instagram or on the website. It's CONI Superfoods. Play on my last name. We're also going through we've just finished. I guess this is something to add. Just finished a repackage and a redesign of our packaging and labels. That's going to be coming out soon. So
Awesome.
excited for that. Would love to get your guys' thoughts on that when it rolls out as well.
For sure. For sure. All right, man. Well, we made it to the part of the show where you offer up to our listeners a simple, sustainable self care habit. We find it so important for us to provide something that people can take action on today that can help them improve the quality of their lives. So, what is that habit that you have for our members today?
I am still working on this, but I every day do some sort of movement in the mornings. So it's my morning routine. Um, and this takes a little bit of flexibility of your schedule, or maybe just getting up a little earlier or whatever. But it takes some time. But for me, I take like an hour or hour and a half, and I do some sort of movement. So like stretching, either like a full cardio or like a full workout, or it could be just stretching abs, something like that. I do a movement. I do a meditation, 20-minute meditation session, and then I plan out my day. So then I get like which I'm not, I'm kind of half-assing the planning side right now. So I need to get better at that. But I have this like a journal kind of thing that breaks down like how I'm feeling that day and why, and then the hours of the day and what I have to do. Um, and it's really beneficial for me. I've It like puts me in the right mindset of like um, the exercise gives me energy. I don't think I'm like fully awake or my brain's fully functioning yet until I have some sort of movement. So it's like the exercise gives me energy, the meditation takes all the stress away, and the organization does some of that as well of just like taking the stress away, figuring out what you need to do and what's important for that day and doing it. So I love that. That's what I do. So if anybody wants to give it a shot, have at it.
Awesome, man. And yeah, similar to what you were talking about before, though, right? I think it's important to have a morning routine. What goes into your morning routine should definitely be specific to you and what works best for you. But having a morning routine, I think, is the most important part
Mhm.
to start your day, because when you start your day with intention, the odds of you maintaining that intention in the actions that you take throughout that day increase significantly. So thank you for that.
Great.
That's a very, very awesome
Can
point.
I ask you guys a question? Can I ask what you guys
For sure. Yeah. Nick, you can go ahead and start. What's your
So, first thing is I take my dog out. He is normally my alarm clock between 5 and 6:30.
Okay.
And so I get up, take him out, and then my first thing is meditation. I like to do it when I'm kind of half asleep because right now I'm playing a lot with astral projection and things like that. And so I find it easier to play with those stuff when you're half asleep. And then I get up and I do. You say what?
Astro projection?
Yep.
I don't know what that is. But
Go ahead, Nick.
Google it. Google it.
Come on, give him a little background. What's astral
when,
projection?
Yeah, give me a little.
It's when you meditate. It's when you're able to leave your body. So I can see myself meditating as I walk around my room and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
Have you ever seen
That's
Doctor
insane.
Strange, Joe?
No.
Oh, okay. Because he did it in Doctor Strange, so that was a clear
Yeah.
way I could connect it. But
Okay.
But yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'm into. I'm into like a lot of deep esoteric stuff. So I spend a lot of my time meditating, and then I do yoga after that. So I'm really big into yoga. I just do like the what's it called, Sun Sarah A, or however I say it. Probably said it wrong. I apologize if I said it wrong. Probably did. But I do that. It's about 5 stretches that I do every single morning. And then sometimes I hit the gym. I haven't hit the gym as regular. I used to be a full-time bodybuilder, so I used to be about 270 pounds.
Oh wow.
Huge. Would not say I was healthy at all, but I was big and lifting heavy weights. And now I would say I'm more healthy than I've ever been. I do mostly a fruit diet, so then I do like my fruit smoothie and stuff, and then I just see what's going on with work.
Very cool.
yeah. In my mornings, I know I've been constantly adjusting my morning routine. Most recently, it's consisted of, similar to yours, Joe, some sort of movement. I've kind of tried to simplify it to just do like calisthenics. I'll do push-ups. I have resistance bands that I use. And I just kind of go through a like 15-minute like circuit to start the day. And then meditation. So meditation is my next thing too. I just sit with myself, just visualize the day within that meditation to kind of speak into existence what I want to see throughout that day. And then I also sit down and I've started to incorporate writing out the MITs, or what I call them, so my most important tasks. I try to pick 3 that I am like, these are the 3 things that if I do these 3 things today, it's going to take me one step closer to my ultimate long-term or short-term goals, depending on what it is I'm working on that day. So
Gotcha.
it's really similar to yours. And the other thing that I try to make sure I do is drink some water. So just try to rehydrate myself when I wake up.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I try to keep it as simple as I can. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think it's really important too. I've just I used to kind of disrespect all this stuff, you know, like I used to kind of make fun of meditation and all that, and disrespect. Like I can just get up and have a coffee and go, and I'm fine.
Right.
And I think
No, it's
maybe it's like an ego thing. I don't know what it is, but once you kind of like realize that no, it does make sense to work out before work, and I don't know, do all the things that my mom told me to do. Then it is beneficial.
Shout out to Mom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome.
You know,
awesome.
I look at it as taking time for yourself, and so that you can be the best you for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But when we take that time for ourselves in the mornings, it sets us up to be everything we need to be for that day,
Mm-hmm.
rather than trying to go through the day and let stuff outside of us complete us. We already take care of that before we get started. So this is one way I like to look
that.
at it.
That's really high level. I think of it pretty. I like that though. It's great. I think of it kind of like pretty tactically of like, I need energy, so give me exercise and coffee, and then I need to operate without stress, so take away the stress, so meditation, and then on the go. But
Yeah.
I do talk therapy as well, just as like a way to
Nice.
understand how I think. And that's something we talk about a lot, is like internal versus external validation and that whole concept.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yes.
Yeah, man.
Interesting stuff.
All right, bro.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your time today.
Man, I appreciate it.
I'm looking forward to continuing to use your product. And yeah, we'll definitely be working with Joe coming up here to be able to offer our listeners a little discount on the product if they want to give it a try. So
Yep.
keep an eye out for that. You'll definitely see more information on our social media platform. So it's at Balance Period on pretty much any social media platform you are on. If there was anything of value that you heard in today's episode, we ask that you do a couple things with it. The first is try something new, implement it into your routine, and see if it adds value to your daily life. And on top of that, share it. If there's someone in your life that you feel this could add value to, share a link that you see on any of our social media pages with them, and continue to contribute to the life that you want to have and you want the people that you love to have. So that's what I got. Nick, you got any closing words for everyone?
Yeah, so on the behalf of the superfood, Holly, my girl does not eat. She's a very, very, very picky eater, and she loves that stuff. So for me, that spoke volumes of it. So I just want
Nice.
to throw that out there, is that a very picky eater really enjoys this. So please check it out.
Awesome.
And other than that, everybody keep enjoying your amazing journey. Thanks for checking us out.
Thanks, guys. This was great.
Awesome. Dope. Okay.